Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how those incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. Listen, please like this video and please subscribe. And once you subscribe, you'll be open to a plethora of videos of movies and television series that I have reviewed and also my pop culture chats. Listen, this is not meant to be long, but it may be long. You see the title of this. Blade is literally circling in developmental hell. What are we talking about? Y'all, let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. And shout out to, let me make sure because I like to give my props. Shout out to at GrayDL15 on X, aka Twitter, or known on YouTube is Gray. He sent me this article and I went through it. I saw a lot of my mutuals go over it, and I'm going to go over it too because this don't make no sense. All right. Again, this is the Hollywood Reporter has been cranking out. I've had some criticism about the Hollywood Reporter, but they've been cranking out information, and I'm going to use them to crank out this information. So let's talk about this. This is written by Boris Kitt and Aaron Couch. And the title of this article is Why Blade Can't Cut Through Developmental Hell. Development Hell. Now, you all know we'll go back over this and over this and over this until we can't go back over and over it again. They announced Blade 2019, because I've been saying 2018, but they announced Blade in 2019. And that they were supposed to start production on Blade, going into 22. And I think it was supposed to come out in 2021 or 2022. But we had the pandemic. So a lot of things got cut back, right? Even though those different shows got cut back, all of those shows have been developed, written, produced, directed, filmed, and released. But we have no Blade. First, it was you had a director leave, fine. You got a new director, then you got a new writer. Those writers leave, and then you got another new writer. And they started. That particular writer wrote a script where Blade, the character, was a secondary character in its own film, and you know how that is because if you watched Wakanda Forever, uh, T'Challa was a secondary character in his own franchise. And you see, even though those two funerals we saw on the screen, it should have been two funerals and a sea god. That's what they should have named it. But you see Wakanda Forever, and now you see the quagmire that left because and all you had to do was recast it. And if you go back and watch my videos, I talk about the death mongers and all of those people, death peddlers, who were so into wanting to mourn Chadwick Boseman that they wanted to do that through the character of T'Challa. T'Challa was a character. T'Challa was not Chadwick Boseman, but that's what they made it seem like, that T'Challa was Chadwick Boseman, and they had to mourn Chadwick Boseman. And for some reason, the death peddlers and got into the ears of everybody else and basically made it seem like the best way to honor Chadwick Boseman was to tank a whole character, which was older than Chadwick Boseman. Talk about respecting your elders. But anyway, stop, Pam. Just stop. We are here to talk about Blade, and we're here to listen to what's going on over here at this Blade production and why they can't seem to get it out of development hell. And will they get it out of development hell? Because I am quite sure they have spent a good amount of money, because everyone is talking about that. I think they're supposed to be starting with the 60 or $70 million budget, but I'm thinking let's do some subtraction. They probably started off with a 100, maybe $115 million budget, but you've gone through two directors, you've gone through two or three writers, you've lost some other people because I'm quite sure you had to pay. I'm quite sure that you had to pay a lot of stuff, people and things like that, to get those script written and all those different things. I'm quite sure you've had to pay a lot of money for all of that. And it's almost like people are looking at this as a money grab scheme. You know, people writing and writing piss poor stories so they can get paid for those stories. They're still going to get booted, but they're going to get booted with Marvel money. That's the cynical Pam in me. That's what I think. So let's go ahead and read this article. Let's go through this article again. Please like and subscribe if you subscribe to my channel, and let's get on. It says here, hampered by strikes and changing studio strategy, Marvel's Mahershala Ali starring vampire thriller is a case study in stops and starts. Is it? Is it? I think it's more of you're not having the appropriate people to make the appropriate decisions about things. I think it's more of you are allowing people to run amok and you're not reeling them in. People are out there running amok and you're not reeling them in. Number one. Number two, you're hiring people who have uh no investment in the character of Blade. Now, whether or not that, well, you have to go back to the source material. You're going to have to go back. You don't have to do a story exactly like it's in the source material of the comics. That's not what I'm saying. But that character should be true to the source material. There are just certain things about a character that's true to the source material, and you making that character odd from the source material cost you Thor, Love, and Thunder. But let's move on. Marvel Studios keeps trying to unsheath Blade, but the vampire thriller is stuck in its scabbard. The latest setback occurred in recent weeks when the feature lost director Jan Demange, the second helmer to exit the project. And see, I would love to talk to these people who are leaving the project, especially people who are the people that people were hyped about. I would love to see why these people are leaving. I wish they could speak on why they are leaving, because that can tell you a little bit about why they're in developmental hell. Is this it? Are they being micromanaged, or they're not being managed at all? What's going on? Some sources say both sides grew frustrated by Blade's prolonged development process. Star Mahershala Ali is also said to be increasingly frustrated. Ali, who has been attached to the project since 2019, handpicked Damaj after the project lost director Bassam Tariq in September 2022. At the time, Blade was in pre-production and about 2 months from principal photography, but Marvel came to believe that Tariq was not the best fit for the project, according to sources. And maybe they're not being run amok. Maybe they're being micromanaged to the infinity and beyond. Because how do you get this close and then oh, look at me. Got my little Twitter finger. Sorry about that, y'all. At the time, Blade was in pre production about 2 months from principal photography, but Marvel came to believe that Tariq was not the best fit for the project, according to sources. Marvel then presented Ali with a list of directors for consideration, but Ali conducted his own search after having concerns that the list largely featured filmmakers who were untested at the big studio level. Is Mahershala Ali getting some kind of production credit or anything like that? Because I mean, I know that he is a two-time Academy Award winning Mahershala Ali, and his standing holds a lot of weight. Don't mishear me. But I'm just perplexed as to how can you figure out what you need to do for Shang-Chi? How can you figure out what you need to do for the Marvels? How can you figure out what you need to do for Thor, Love, and Thunder? How can you figure out all of these different things, but you're stuck on directors? And then you're telling the star, oh, well, just go pick out a director. He picks out directors and y'all get rid of these directors. Or you have the other director leave. Ali has timed, exercised an inordinate amount of influence over the project in a way few other actors have in Marvel movies. Part of it stems from Blade's inception, which began with Ali called to the studio after winning the Oscar for his work on Green Book and said that he wanted to do Blade. Ali had envisioned Blade as his Black Panther, according to sources, which is nothing wrong with that. Demond's Blaze was batting its wings towards a shoot starting in May 2023 and hired yet another writer, true de- true detective creator Nick Pizzolatto, and also an Ali pick to bring the script over to the finish line, but it was all for naught as the writer's strike, then the actor's strike shut the movie down. People have missed about 3 windows to shoot other movies or shows an agent notes. But unlike several other Marvel projects that were shut down and restarted, including Deadpool and Wolverine and the Thunderbolts, Blade instead let most of its actors go. Now, whose responsibility was that? Delroy Lindo and Aaron Pierre among them, and went through more writers. Marvel hired Michael Green in November, and right after Demange left, go to Wait a minute, that doesn't even make sense. There I go again. And right after Demange left, go to Marvel writer Eric Pearson, who had pleased the studio with recent works in Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, jumped in. It's been such a long road that memes of an aged Ali at the did y'all see that meme? They got I think that's his True Detective because I think he was in either season 1 or season 2 of True Detective. That was his character and they got him in this as an old man. Talking about this is how Mahershala Ali gonna look when by the time he plays Blade. Whoo, child. Let me go on. It's been such a long road that memes of an aged Ali at the far in the future premiere of Blade took over social media after the last Helmer parted ways. Even Wesley Snipes, who played the vampire hunter in the trio of movies released by New Line, weighed in. Blade, lordy, 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 sniped on X. Ali's attorney, Shelby Weiser. And I saw this on one of I think I was watching Blue's House. I saw this on here. They were talking about this, and I didn't go back through it or read it, but listen to this. Ali's attorney, Shelby Weiser, told THR in a recent interview that deal was in 2019 and they still haven't shot it, which is pretty much the craziest thing in my professional appearance. Now, when you have an entertainment attorney talking about this and talking about this deal, I sure hope within his deal he has some kind of clause if they cutting up like that he gets all his money because this doesn't make any sense. Now, do I want Blade to be made? Absolutely. I enjoyed the first iteration of Blade and I was looking forward. I am still looking forward to this iteration of Blade. However, I am a Mahershala Ali fan and I'd rather him leave, let them get that stuff together and then come back, go out and do some more. I'd like to see him in more things because he's done what, maybe one or two things since 2019. I'm sorry, I need more Mahershala Ali. I need more of him and his acting chops out here doing the work than to be set than to literally to be sitting somewhere twiddling their thumbs to figure out Blade. And this is just a thing for Marvel. If you're gonna make it, you need to get the right person in there who is going to be able to right this ship, because as it looks like to me, it's like a ship out in the ocean just turning, doing donuts in the water, like it's caught in some kind of whirlpool, just circling. Someone needs to get out there and right that ship and get that ship to shore so that it can unload the cargo so that we can have a good film. And there is no excuse for you if you're taking this long to write one, and if you have plans to do at least 2 films, you need to go ahead and write 1 and 2. That same writer needs to write 1 and 2, get them both done, film them, and then put them out. On top of last year's strike, Blade was a victim of pandemic delays and Disney full stream ahead pivot to streaming, which forced Marvel to overproduce and overdevelop its slate. There wasn't enough attention paid to it, said one insider. It really is a casual of the too much era. But that doesn't make any sense. And I think that's a bold faced lie because, again, you had all those other projects that were made and they came into fruition right after the pandemic. And you're trying to tell me that this show right here couldn't do it. Why was all those other shows seem to be more important than this show when you know that this was the last show that you had on your slate from the 2019 I'm calling the 2019 graduation class? That's BS to me. Straight BS. That could explain why Blade kept shifting storylines and time periods. The versions that were aiming to shoot last year was set in the 1920s, according to sources, and feature Mia Goth as a vampire villain named Lilith, who wanted the blood of Blade's daughter. Goth remains attached to star in the project. For another iteration under Tyreek, Marvel built a massive train set, but it was never used. It may be passed on to a different Disney production. The new take on Blade is that to be present day. I think they were shifting storylines because, again, and I've said this before, not all Marvel movies need to intertwine into that damn multiverse. That's your problem because you're so busy trying to figure out a way to fit this thing into this multiverse that you all are not making quality shows. Everything does not have to have a direct or indirect um connection to the multiverse. You can retrofit it if you want to. Just make the daggone movie. Make a good Blade movie that has to do with the character and the things that are going around the character. Stop trying to make it fit something else. I said the same thing with a lot of these Marvel movies. A lot of these movies don't have to connect to the multiverse. You should have picked out the characters that you wanted to connect to the multiverse, and then those 4 or 5 characters, that way those 3 or 4 characters, so that meant those 3 or 4 franchises were going to connect together and then together for the multiverse. Every character that you were developing didn't have to. Blade didn't have to affect the multiverse, not at all. Same way that I feel like Daredevil and Spider-Man and all of these, what I call are on Earth superheroes, where they don't have to be all intergalactic and out of space and anything like that. I don't think those characters need to have any big connection to the multiverse. I think you can make a solid show with the solid characters, let them do their part, and leave it alone. They don't have to be out here connecting to the multiverse and doing all of that stuff. Just make the daggone show. It is unclear how many millions Marvel has spent on Blade. That's what I was saying before in regards to, they probably had $150 million budget, and now they're talking about spending 60 or 70. That's just probably the rest of the budget. They out here spending money like them people did them PPP. Woo, child. Oh, me. It is unclear how many millions Marvel has spent on Blade, counting the development and pre-production costs. But it's not stopping now. Marvel has learned in recent years that it does not pay to be rushed into production. And the studio prides itself on having a high development to production ratio, something that eludes most of other companies. The new plan calls for the script to be written over the summer and then go out to directors. Okay, let's get it. Marvel's chief Kevin Feige holds a special place for Blade, considering the Snipes 1998 movie an eye opener for him and one of the inspirations for focusing on B-list characters in the early days of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. As he remarked in 2017, a character nobody had heard of at all had only appeared in a few issues of Tomb of Dracula or something, turned into a big franchise. That was always a great lesson for me. Where you go, it doesn't matter how well known the character is, it matters how cool the movie is. All right. Scribes who have tried to sharpen blade in February 2021. And I think it just goes over all the different people. And we're not going to go wuss wuss. It's the last part of the article. February 2021, Marvel hires Watchmen writer Stacey Osei Kufur to pen the script for a project that has Oscar winner Mahershala Ali attached to this as the star of the horror as a horror hero. Y'all, I'm just blubbing over my words. It's time for me to go to bed. That's what it is. Fall 2022, Bo DeMaio, who created X-Men 97, takes his own stab, described as a period piece. April 2023, with the writer strike looming, Marvel shells out for the True Detective creator Nick Pizzolatto to write. He worked with Blade star Ali on season 3 of the HBO series. And I think that's where they got that meme from. Fall 2023, after losing original director Bassam Tariq, Marvel taps Michael Starberry when they see us to write a new script for the director Jan Demange. Fall 2023, the studio hires scribe Michael Green, known for well-received genre movies like Logan and Blade Runner 2049. Summer 2024, with Demange exiting as director, Marvel brings in studio mainstay Eric Pearson, who has pushed scripts for Thor, Ragnarok, Black Widow, and Fantastic Four over the finish line. So we will see. But we know that they have spent a lot of money. And you can't tell me they haven't. And you still have Blade circling production hell, developmental hell. So what do y'all think? Do you think we're going to see Blade? It is 2024. We're in the middle of 2044. So that means that they have to the end of August, because that's pretty much, yeah, end of August going into September. Yeah. So they have to September because fall starts at the end of September. So they have to September to present a good script and then shoot it out to directors. Let a director look over that, work with that writer to zhuzh it up. And then we're looking at what? Production in 2025, pre-production in the beginning of 2025, with full production during the summer and fall of 2025, post-production in the winter of 2025, and possibly see it out in 2026. Because I tell you, by the end of this summer, if they don't have anything, I will tell you right now, there is no need to look for Blade because it is 2024. That's 5 years ago. 2027 is 7 years ago, and you all will be well focused on other characters. But to me, it will be a shame. I do want it made, but again, I do not want it made at the expense of a good actor not acting in roles, other different roles, because they're waiting on Marvel to get together. That's why I hope his clause has something in there to say that, if this doesn't work out in a couple of years, then I want all my money up front and I'm gone. Peace. All right. That's the end of this video. Tell me what y'all think about this. Tell me what y'all think about Blade being in developmental hell. Do you think it's micromanaging? Do you think that they're just allowing people to wallow out in the wind? What do you think is going on over there? Uh, I'm beginning to think that certain movies need just certain people to run it, not necessarily, Kevin Feige can be up here, or they can get rid of Kevin Feige and get a couple of other people. I don't know. But I do think that this particular project needs someone who is going to be pushing this project. There is, these little dates and stuff like that. Everything has to come out with these dates. Push these people. Talk about their money or anything like that. But anyway, I don't know. But I do want Blade to be made, but this is just beginning to be bullshit. Sorry, that's what it is. All right, people, we do this every week. Please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye bye.